Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. Speaking of zombies, we're working on my comic book that features zombies pretty heavily. It's a kids versus zombies story. It's called Young and the Dead, and this is the first issue. I've got 3 issues available. I'm working on issue 4. These don't stay up here very well. They fall down. All right, so I'm working on issue 4, and this is all part of 100 Days of Making Comics. So what is that? That's where you spend at least 30 minutes a day, every day, working on what? Your own personal comic book project. You just saw mine. Maybe you're working along with me. What's yours? What are you working on? Hopefully you're coming along and you're figuring things out. Hopefully it's going well for you is basically what I'm trying to say. So a little flustered there, but that's because I'm trying to remember what day we're at. I'm pretty sure we're at day 36, and that's why we have this big pad of paper and we have this big fat Sharpie, because we want to keep track of what day we're doing. So day 36. So today is day 36, so we write that on the big pad so we keep track of where we're at. Whoa, things are just falling over all over the place in the underground lair. You know, it's actually like the lab. If you didn't know, it's inside, I can't tell you the exact location, but I will let you know that it's inside a live volcano. So sometimes if things start to erupt, things start to fall down. So I really need to kind of earthquake proof it. Would it still be earthquake proof if it's a volcano? Volcano proof? I don't know if there's really a term for that, because not too many people live or work inside a live active volcano. But anyway, so enough about that. Yesterday, if you were watching it, you'll know that I was showing off some of the comic book creators that kind of inspired me when I was a kid, and I mentioned that I want to also talk about some of the current creators, some more modern creators that are kind of inspiring me now. So I thought I would get into that. So the first one I want to talk about, I'm just going to talk about 3 like I did yesterday. There's many more that I'm into. I guess the classic creators is a lot more. I don't collect a ton of new comic books, but there are a few that I am really into. And one of them, if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Avatar, the Avatar universe. That also includes Korra. But the comic books are excellent. So if you wanted to know the further adventures, what comes out after, what goes on after the Avatar, you know, the 3 seasons of Avatar, The Last Airbender, you got to check out these books. They're really awesome, and the story is great. But let's see. Gene Yang wrote the story, which is awesome. But I'm talking about the artist right now. So the artist is Guri Huru, I believe you pronounce it. Now, I don't think that's one person. I think that's a team of 2 people, if I'm correct. I don't know. I think it's like a studio, but I can't tell the difference who works on what or what. But I just love the work. It's kind of, it's in line with kind of like Avatar The Last Airbender, where it's got a little bit of Eastern influence to it, a little bit of Western influence, and I like that style. I find myself drawn to that. Straight anime, sometimes I'm a little iffy on it. Just some of the shorthand that they use and the I don't know, the exaggeration, some of it's a little too much for me, and there's some of that in Avatar if you watched it, but and there are some animes that I like, but I kind of like when they kind of meld both of these styles together. But if you know me, I like the cartooniness, and this is a huge influence on me kind of right now. Let's see, I'm trying to find some good, let me find here. I've got tons of these here, but just if you look at some of the characterizations and the cartooniness and everything to it, and also Guri Huru really good at you know, just the scenes, doing the different scenes and all the effects that the avatars use, the fire, the flames, all the machinery and the animals. This artist also does another book that I haven't picked up yet, but I think I'm going to. It's Gwenpool, which is like Deadpool is Gwen Stacy, or Gwen Stacy is Deadpool, and it's super fun too. But I would definitely check out Guri Huru. Awesome stuff. So far, all I have of their work is the Avatar stuff. But man, I really dig it. Another artist that I'm into right now, I'm not sure what she's currently doing. Like I said, I'm not too up on modern comics, but this is her run on Batgirl. This is Babs Tarr, who's the one that designed the new Batgirl the new Batgirl costume that is kind of, you know, just kind of took the comic book world by storm. It was just such a cool design. But I dig her stuff too. Let me see if I can find some good stuff here. Man, these books, it's every other page is an ad. Maybe that's why I don't collect comics anymore. Here we got a spread. So just some awesome action scenes, and even in the scenes, this is sort of a teen type book. The characters are all teenagers or early 20s or whatever, and it's kind of their daily life and everything. So those scenes are great too. The action scenes, awesome. She's really good with and it's a little more sketchy, but just you can see like the panel work and just the expressions and everything. I'm really big on sort of a little cartoony, a lot of expressions in the characters. So Babs Tarr, I would definitely check her out. Like, just here's a cover. We're talking about covers, designing covers. Here's something that you would think wouldn't be that, you know, just a scene on the subway, but look what she does to that. Very cool, very cool. So here's another one, taking a selfie of Harley Quinn, battle with Livewire. But I would check her out. She's really good. As far as new comic book illustrators, that's one of my favorite. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Sean Galloway, also known as Cheeks. This is some of his. He does a lot of fan art stuff. You've probably seen it all over the internet. But this is his original creations. A couple of them here. This is Bastion 7, and I mean, look at that. He definitely comes from the animation background. I actually met him. I don't know if he signed these. I know he did a sketch in one of them. Oh yeah, they're signed. So, but man, his stuff, if you just look at the scenery and everything, the colors, I don't know if he does the color. Whoever does the colors is amazing too. But I love, it's just so animated, like the characters. You've probably seen his stuff before, but here you can see just, man, it's just, this stuff I really dig, and there's so much action, so much adventure. The typography and everything is so clean. And kind of in contrast to the one I showed you before, Babs Tarr was a little more sketchy. This stuff is just super clean. I mean, you can't. I'm pretty sure I don't know if he must work digitally, but it almost looks like he works in Illustrator because it's so clean in some of the lines. But I don't think he does. He's just really good with that pen and stuff. But so that's one of his books. This is another one, Gumshoes for Hire. It's kind of like a Scooby-Doo type thing. There's no actual animal character in it like a Scooby-Doo, but it's a, you know, kid, you know, obviously if you know me. Oh, here you can kind of see, now that without the color, you can see some of the sketches, how he lays stuff out with just the line work, and then he adds his shadows in and builds from there. But look at the houses and stuff. Look how clean that is. It's very animation style. This is one of his sketchbooks. This is a sketch that he did for me on the back, one of his characters. And here you can kind of see some of his fan art. There's some characters from Korra. There's Korra, Iron Man. You know, he does a lot of fan art stuff, and you can always tell his style. But anyway, so those are 3 creators currently that I am into. So what are some of your favorite current comic book creators? Let me know in the comments section. But we've got to move on. We've got to go. We've been talking for a little while. We got to find out what's going on with the process of the comic book. So we're going to go to the Parallelscope and check that out. Finally, actually doing some drawing, other than, you know, thumbnails, I guess, if you can consider that drawing. But I am working in Manga Studio with the perspective tools. It's really cool. The perspective tools work great, but the program itself has like some weird, like janky issues. For instance, I laid out all my perspective grids for the different panels, and I started doing some of the design and everything in there, and it was working fine. And then I did that yesterday. It came back to work on it today, and nothing would what do you call it? would snap to the grid. And you know, I looked online, and there's this little snap to the grid function, and it's, you know, button, and it's on, so everything's working there. But I looked online, and I guess other people were having that same issue, and it didn't look like, as far as I could find, there wasn't a solution. So I basically had to redraw my grids, and that's not good. So I don't know what that bug is or why it was doing that. The other thing And part of it's me just being inexperienced with the program. The other one, like I said, it looked like other people were having the same issue. But then there was a time where I went to just draw on the layer and it wasn't drawing. I had to restart the program, and then it started working. You know, I was able to draw the program, but then, like I said, the rulers went away. So I don't know. This right now, it's not good because it's taking me probably longer. Well, I don't know. These rulers are pretty cool when they're working. So I'll show you. Take a look. This is a screenshot of Manga Studio or Clip Studio Pro, depending on which, whether you have the downloaded version or you have the physical version. Anyway, so you can see these kind of pinkish purple lines. Those are my perspective rulers, and so anything that I draw here will snap to that, assuming that it's working, which I've had a few problems with, but this is GenCore, which is sort of the research facility where the zombie outbreak first kind of originated. So I'm just creating an establishing shot right here, and you can see how these rulers work, and it works. I mean, it works really good when it works. So hopefully I can hopefully the more that I work on this, the more I'll be able to figure out where these problems are rising from. But like I said, I did some searching on the internet. It seemed like some other people had the same problem, and I don't know. And unfortunately, there's not as much research out there because there's not as many people using this program as, say, something like Photoshop or Illustrator. So if you do a search in one of those programs, right away you'll find all kinds of things. I mean, I found like Reddit posts, people having the same program or same problem, and no response. So I don't know. So what I did find was people were having that issue. So I don't know, but I'll keep kind of fussing with it, and hopefully I'll figure something out, maybe a workaround, maybe something. So anyway, that's what's going on today. All right, so we are back, and we are ready to say goodbye to day 36. So at the end of every episode, we take the big pad, we tear off the sheet for that day, we throw it in the trash, we say so long to day 36. We're looking forward to day 37. I will see you then. That is all. Hey everyone, you've seen the process. Now you can check out the story. Issues 1 through 3 of Young and the Dead are available at my website at Serkworks.com. Also follow me on social media at the links listed below. Subscribe and check out some of the other videos in the series. There's much more to come.